We
What a Saturday.
are back.
All
Oh,
right.
we just love the
Yeah.
the power of live. Let
Yeah.
us know if y'all can hear us. We hope we are on here and the sound is working well. I see the little green lights popping up.
Look, they should know us by now.
They should know us
You know
by
what I mean?
now.
YouTube should know this was our second time. It should know us by now. But
Yes.
anyway, that's a great recovery of what live does. So
Yes, yes.
as we were saying, we've used that phrase over and over again, and you
You
should
should
know
know
me.
us by
Yeah,
now.
you should know me by now.
Awesome, awesome. So
Yes.
I was asking,
Go ahead.
I wanted to really know if something like this has ever happened to you before because I remember this happened to us quite a
Yes.
bit. And
Quite a bit.
I was sitting in my office one day in my little sweet peaceful, that's my little me time chair. And I'm in my office with my little Bible and my journal, just having my me time. And my sweet hubby, he just comes in and, hey, babe, I got something I want to show you. Got something on my little Instagram I want to show you. I'm like, okay, thanks, babe. That was cool. Then he leaves out. Then he comes back in, shows me something else. Then he leaves out. Then he comes back in the third time and he's like, oh, I think I got some ideas what we're gonna do. And I'm like, by this time I'm getting a little irritated because I'm like, now this dude should know me by now that I need my quiet time in the morning, that I need my little solitude. And I just want to know, have you ever had that thought before? He should know me by now. She should know me by now.
I got one too now.
Oh, you've
In the
had that
kitchen.
thought?
Yeah, absolutely. She should know me by now. Look at all this great. We've been married 11 years. And in the kitchen, for me, on the left side is the clean sink.
Oh.
Yeah. So when I come in and there's something in the sink, whether it's food or dirty dishes or something like that, I'm like, she should know me by now. But you know what? It's those little things, you should know me by now, can take you kind of crazy.
So, for sure. Because, you can feel
Mhm.
some of the frustration
and the tension
and the irritation
Yeah.
behind those 6 little words. Oh, they should know me by now.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about today because it's a very common phrase that comes up in marriage that you either think or you say it out loud to your spouse.
Yeah.
You should know me by now. So, but the thing is that phrase and that mindset can really be hurting your marriage.
It really can be.
Yeah.
It really can be. So hello, y'all. Welcome to Saturday with Linwood and Danae.
Yep. Yeah. And we're just here to help couples who, they're doing really well, but sometimes they just kind of getting off track in their marriage.
Yeah.
And we would just want to help y'all align back with God and with each other.
With each other. That's
it. And so we use our Saturdays that we share with y'all to talk through some of these issues that come up in marriage.
And since this Saturday there's like a restaurant you go to and you thought it was at the right time and they put you on hold, that's what the live thing did today. It just kind of helped us and got delayed.
Yes. So thanks for hanging in there with us.
Thanks for hanging in there.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Let's go. Let's talk about it. Then.
All right. So what do we mean? What do you mean when we say, man, they should know me by now?
Well, again, most times is when I've said something over and over again, and it seems like you should know that by now.
Yeah.
Like with the sink. That's a light thing. It's a light thing. And but for it to bother me as much as it does every now and then when I walk in and the sink is dirty, even at other people's houses, I'm doing the same thing. We had a Bible study the other time. We was over a friend's house, and I was like, I even asked them, do you do the left or right sink? Which one is dirty? They was like, there is no dirty sink. So of course I was like, okay, now I need to know me.
Yeah.
So I won't ask her or say that phrase. You should know me by now.
Yeah.
I should know I should do something different. So
yeah.
That's it.
And for me, it just means like, man, after all this time, you still don't see me. Like you still don't know. So then it's like some frustration there because it's like, you should take notice me enough by now. We've been together all this time. You should know my little quirks, my little habits. You should know these things about me by now. And now I'm frustrated because now you're not even paying attention to me like I thought you were.
Right.
You're not really seeing me like I thought you've been watching and seeing me. So that frustration comes in.
And then that takes us back to like last one we was talking about being a mind reader.
Yeah.
And sometimes because I think she knows, right, this or that, and we've been married for 11
years, yeah.
that, oh, all right, she just kind of knows. So we just, all the thoughts we got. Do you have to think about how many thoughts?
Man, I think it's like 60,000.
Yeah, per day.
Yep.
You know, and so if I told her everything that was this mind thought, whether it was a slip or whatever, will I really be able to express myself, or does she really know what's on my mind?
Yeah,
she shouldn't be. I don't even know what's on my mind half of the time with 60,000. So why would I? That's a lot of thoughts. So, but I don't want to trivialize it either.
Yeah,
You know that if she is telling me something, and she did say to me, you know, you should know me by now, or you should know this time frame, and when I do this and I would do that, and it's like, okay, if I continue to do that over and over again, then it might just be trivial for her. Yeah. Or it comes off that I don't value what her thing is about this time, or it's a trivial thing for me.
Yeah.
And we never want to trivialize each other.
No.
So
another thing for me too is it's like you're not really, this is what I mean by you don't know me by now.
Go for it.
Like you haven't put forth the effort to get to know me.
Yeah.
And now I feel a little disappointment. Yeah. You know, I feel like it's kind of, you know, sad, like, man, he ain't even trying to get to know me, you know. I mean, and this was the old us, not us now. But those were some feelings that I used to have. And that's the thing, that's the assumption. So I'll say for some women, I know this isn't all women, but I'll say for some women, this is the problem is that fantasy versus reality. So I like to call it the Prince Charming pursuit, where you just really like you want the man to pursue you. You want him to try to have to figure it out. You don't want to have to tell him everything, right, ladies? You don't want to have to tell him everything.
Not everything.
It's like pursue me, like do some research, like get to know me, like pay attention to me. So we have this, you know, this fantasy sometimes of the Prince Charming, like just pursuing us and figuring us out. But that ain't always reality.
And for me,
it's not. Sometimes we just got to tell them. So it goes back to the mind reading thing, because marriage is not for mind reading. No, and it's not for assuming either.
It is for memories, though. Not for mind reading, but for memories. Yeah.
It's not for mind reading and assuming. It's really for communicating. Yes. So you have to communicate. You got to let them know, hey, this is something that really bothers me. Like, or as you were saying, this is something that don't trivialize.
Yeah, don't trivialize.
You know,
it's a value or just something that was brought up.
Absolutely.
I'm going to stay away from the word tradition, but it's just like a process.
Yeah.
We talk about, you know, I put the dirty dishes over here, and when I wash them, I put them over here. That indicate this is the clean side. And so if I'm coming in to help in the kitchen, that's the process, and it kind of just like throws me for a loop right now. Should I do this? Should I do that? Or sometimes I just need to leave out of the kitchen. Yeah. I should know that by now. Right? But so just stuff like that. But what is a scripture that you have that can kind of bring all this up?
Yeah. You know? Mrs. Gilbert says, or say, can you bring me back something to drink? And they bring back the one drink you don't like, because they should know you by now.
Yeah. Oh, and if you do send us to the grocery store and the list has flour on it or something like that, right? I'm going over there, I'm thinking about how nice I want to do something. And I bring back a flower, but it's like she likes tiger lilies.
Yes.
And I forget the FLOUR. The whole reason she sent me to the store, you know what I mean?
To get flour.
Yeah, but I thought I was going to get some kudos, right? Because I bought some flour. Now that's a misunderstanding, and I should know by now to follow the list that my wife got. Right,
follow this first.
Follow this first and do the extra stuff.
Yeah.
That goes back with my mom used to say, now if you do what I asked you to do, you know, and not all this extra stuff, you know, it'll be all right.
Yep.
So the flour and the flour.
Yeah.
Just make sure you get what she asked you for. That's just a tip.
Yep. So there's a scripture in Proverbs 4:7 that says, wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, but in all you're getting,
yes.
get understanding.
Yes.
And that is the key to marriage.
Absolutely.
It's key to relationships. Get understanding.
Yeah.
So how do we get to understanding? Because, man, the last situation that we had.
Well, call it a conflict.
It was a conflict.
We talked about it last. You know,
call it
last
conflict.
Yeah.
I know that ain't the words,
yeah.
but
we'll call it conflict since it tie into
what we talked about last week.
That's right.
So the last situation we had, conflict that we had concerning this, where I felt like, dang, he should know me by now, and he still don't know me.
Okay.
Was when you were
we're in a
sharing
masterclass.
in a masterclass, yeah.
And it's again, some of my training and stuff is in risk analysis and stuff like that. So I was sharing that and was talking about people that like change. I'm a change agent, and I think I need to restate what a provoker is, right? Some people like change.
From last week.
Yeah. I don't just like, I got to do that. You got to do that now. So I don't provoke that way, but I do want to initiate. There needs to be some change because I am a change agent, right? Yeah. And so, okay, what needs to be done? But getting back to this, it's like, since I'm that way, I'm sharing about risk, right? And I was like, there are people that like change, right? And then there's people that are risk averse, right? And I even asked her before I even shared that in the mastermind, is this okay if I share this? And she said, oh, yeah. So I was sharing it and I referred to her as a risk adverse person, right? And the example was cool and everything. And I was like, all right, everybody kind of understood. And then, the call was over. And she was like, oh, that was a good share. And then
I said, but let me just correct you on one little thing. And I said, it's not that I'm a risk averse person. I said, I'm a calculated risk taker.
Yes.
So, because I did a lot of work on that part of me, not just always, being scared to take risks and so. So I worked on that so hard. So I was like, dang, he still doesn't see that I'm no longer that person. Like, I am a new creation. Like, I'm a calculated risk taker now. And so I just wanted to make him aware of that, because I had that feeling like, dang, he still don't know me as that. He still doesn't see me as that.
And what it did when she says, I just wanted to correct you. Well, you should know me by now. And I thought I knew you. And that's why I asked, if I could share this and everything. And then I went on. And so that is what caused the conflict. The conflict of me saying she was risk averse. And then I'm saying, okay, you're going to correct me. But I asked. And so then I walked out of the room. I didn't react. Neither one of us reacted in the moment.
Yeah.
Right. And it was like, okay, now this, I thought like what I knew about this and how I know that she might this and she might that, he might this and he might that, because sometimes I do talk a little bit too much. Again, I'm an initiator. And so I didn't want to react then, and I was walking and she came into her quiet space. And I was like, okay, what could I have done a little differently?
Because above all else,
get an understanding. And I was like, okay. So I came back and I was like, man, I just want to talk about this little part about the risk averse. And then we started talking about what it meant for her, what I meant by that. I asked this and all that stuff. And I said, oh, now we know. Right. And so that part is not, it wasn't what I knew. It was, now I need to be curious about what's going on instead of assuming.
You didn't have an accurate.
Yeah, that was the whole thing.
It wasn't accurate.
And that's what she said. She said, you don't have an accurate understanding of me, or knowing or something. You don't know me accurately.
Yeah, you don't know me accurately.
Yeah, you don't know me accurately. And I was like, okay. And I sat in that and I received what she said. And I was like, you know what, babe? I will never know you accurately. Right? Because we change every day, and I want to know her every day. I want to get to know her in, like, today's Saturday. I watched, the first live went a little quirky, and then we had to get back on. And what I knew about both of us, when things kind of get, I'm like right into it. And all we did was took a breath. We knew what the intent was, right? And know that, okay, I know how I would have reacted. She knows me. And oh, wait, I know her. But we both did something different to come back on because it was important to come share, you should know me by now.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh man, this is a new experience together. Let's be curious about this. And it was about, no, I would never know you accurately, but I'm willing to get to know you each day, in this day, in whether it's a conflict or the joys that come in each day.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, that's what we're going to do. I'm not going to assume anything.
Yes.
Right. And I'm not going to assume that I told you everything about today and everything I thought either.
Yes.
So I would be curious. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, that's good that you brought that up because, the first problem of you should know me by now is the assumption part.
Yeah.
Or the thinking that your spouse even sees things the same way as you do. Like they interpret. For instance, with me sitting in my office in my quiet time, he used to interpret it as me not wanting to be with him.
Yeah, I did. I was like, I'm walking, pacing the hallway, really like, when's she going to come out this room? I want to spend some time. And that was the problem. No longer do I want to spend some time. I really want to invest time because the return on the investment has been so much.
Right. Yep.
Go ahead.
So you're assuming that your spouse is interpreting things the same way you are. So now it's like, well, they're not even thinking about, I should know them. They're thinking about something completely different. And you're like, well, dang, they should know me by now.
Yeah.
So that's the first danger, just the assumption. And then the second danger, because speaking of the example of when our live didn't work the first time, but in the past, we probably would have responded a lot differently.
Oh, yeah.
I would have probably been like, oh my God, I'm having a meltdown. And he would have been diving in, but we did something different. So the danger on the flip side of saying, well, you should know me by now. Don't you know this is how I am? This is how I always do things, is that your unwillingness to change.
Yeah, it can be an
excuse. You can stay stuck. Yeah, you can use it as an excuse of, well, you should know me by now. This is just how I am.
Just the way
this is just what I do. And so now you saying stuff.
And now, just to say 8 years difference in our age, right? Is that if I stay stuck in, I know what I'm
the
doing.
8 years younger. If we didn't, okay, go ahead.
They didn't need to know that. They're getting to know us. But anyway, but it's like, since that is things I do know, right? Like my grandbaby say, what I know, right? And I know that. But sometimes
I know everything about what I do know.
Yeah, she knows everything about what she does know. Yeah. And that has been like, oh man, that was hilarious. But sometimes as a grown-up, if you stick with that, I know what I do know, everything I do know, you will never get more growth and more understanding of the new day, of the new moment to do something differently. And sometimes loss, sometimes hurt, sometimes disillusionment. We rather stay there. And it prevents us from stepping out to get to know something new. So that's all I have on that. Before I start to get into, how to. It's more of a now to. Now I need to learn and be curious about, this is something new.
So it's, you're giving your spouse an opportunity to really get to know you.
Yeah.
Because again, you're changing. Even if you was like, well, I used to like eggs. And so he knew that I liked eggs, or she knew that I like eggs. But now I don't like eggs anymore, but I never even communicated that. So it's like, things are changing. And honey, if you're going through perimenopause and menopause, honey, you changing. Whoo, child. Yeah.
And you
that's a
get to
whole
know a
nother
whole
thing.
different woman than the one that you knew before that stuff. So it's
Yeah.
like, all right, let's relearn each other.
Yeah.
Let's
Even
get
that.
to
You're
know each
not the
other. Yeah.
same man that I
Oh,
married 11
absolutely.
years ago.
No,
And I
because I
know
was
I ain't
200
the
and
same.
some pounds. And I am proud to say now, with the help of this love and some great coaching, that I'm like at 180 something now. So it's like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm a new man. And
Well,
who
let
your
me
man?
get to know
Yeah,
this one by now.
that's right. That's right. That is right.
Absolutely.
So just the promise of I want to be better.
Yes.
Right. I want to be better in my relationship with my wife. I want to be better in relationship with God. I want to be better in relation to all of that stuff, because I'm a new creation. I'm a new creature. She's a new creation, a new creature, and not those habits of, our creature habits.
Yes.
This is just what I want to do. This is what I want to eat. This is where I want to go. This is how I want to do. That's it. Those little things. Like you coming into your office space and doing your piece. That's not to get away from me. Right. And I know that. I didn't know that in the beginning. Because because I am initiator.
Yeah.
Come on, baby, let's go do this. Hey, baby, let's do this. And hey, baby, can we do this?
Just jumping in.
Like, hey, just calm down a little bit. You know what I mean? Or go fill your time. With some things that you say you've been wanting to do.
Yes.
And it allowed me to do that. It gave space and growth for both of us. So
it's like that scripture says, a fool, a self-confident fool, has no delight in understanding, but in only expressing their own heart. That's in Proverbs 18:2. So with that situation with me in my quiet time, like you weren't even trying to get the understanding. You just wanted to express what your thing was. And she don't want to spend time with me. She don't want to.
Yeah,
but when he finally took the time to get to know me a little better, to say, wait a minute, this ain't even about me. We're good.
Yeah,
she just needs to have her quiet time. And a matter of fact, when she gets her quiet time in the morning, things go so much better.
So much better throughout the day. And same thing for me. Now let me reinvest some time that I just was like trying to fill time. Now let me go read. Let me go personal development. Let me go listen to God. You know what I mean? Let me enjoy myself. Yeah, I started doodling again, as far as writing. And even this stuff is like, okay, this is fun.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Let's go date.
Yeah.
And every date is a date.
Yes.
Day. So thank y'all for sharing with us today on Saturday.
Yes.
And we're going to continue to do that and continue to do this because I love being with her.
Yeah.
And I love being with y'all. So anything else?
Yeah. Well, just tell us some of the takeaways y'all got today. And as y'all are putting those in the chat, we want to share a couple of little announcements with y'all. Y'all, first of all, y'all make sure y'all come back next week because next week I think y'all really gonna appreciate this. What are we talking about next week, babe?
Next week?
Compromising.
Compromise. All right.
Compromising.
I'm gonna just leave it at that.
It's not always the solution.
Yeah, compromise is not always the solution. And
so another one, thank you, Shari. She is we're having our first masterclass.
Yes, we are.
Yes. So we're gonna put the link in the chat. Yeah. So y'all can get on that. Hold on. We're gonna put that in the chat. Yeah.
Anyway, one of the things that I was thinking about, and this is the attitude that used to come from, you should know me by now. And we'll go back and forth with that little attitude of you should know me by now. And then it was like something may come back and you say, well, it takes one to know one. I ain't gonna say what was said, you know what I mean? Even it's like, okay, if it takes one to know one, right? What does it take for me this one time to know this one a little better? So if it takes one moment for me not popping off at the mouth or saying you should have done this, because sometimes we can should all over ourselves. And I did say should. Yeah, all over ourselves. You should have done this. You should have done this. And I should have done this. And you know what I mean? If you would have done this. And so if it takes one moment to kind of chill and really ask a question and be curious, like we talked about earlier, being curious, not trivializing that, to say, okay, what can I do? If it takes one to become one, then this one moment, I'm going to do something different. So love that. So,
yeah.
Well, and Shari says, need to go back from the start to begin again.
Oh yeah, we didn't get right. When our sound went out, we apologize
Yeah.
again for that, y'all. We don't know,
Apologize
technical difficulties.
Technology.
So yes, you will have an opportunity to go back and watch the replay. It'll be up there.
What we did put up there is the link for April 12th. Did I say it right? The link for April 12th virtual masterclass, marriage masterclass.
Yep.
So come join us.
Yes.
And
we appreciate y'all.
The times and everything will be in there, but it will be on Saturday. And an extension of Saturday, but this time it'll be a masterclass.
Yep.
So
again, just to review a little bit.
Just review
today.
Man. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Not to have I just had a brain fart. It went away.
You excuse. All right. See how them 60,000 thoughts can go in? You know what I mean?
In and out. I'm thinking about the making sure the replay thing is up there.
Yeah.
My mind just went.
That's it. We're okay, baby.
Totally different way. But anyway.
So
why
plan A,
using that phrase? Yes. You should know me by now is hurting your marriage.
Yes.
Because you don't want to open up the doorway to assumption and mind reading.
Mind reading and assumption get you in trouble every time with that phrase. You should know me by now.
Yes.
And again, thank you. Here's one other thing is like consistently study your person and ask questions for understanding. Like we was talking about, and we shared the what was the actual scripture? It was Proverbs 7.
Proverbs 4:7. Above all else, get an understanding.
In all you're getting, get an understanding. So with wisdom, with what we learned, when we were in the church planning, is that the 3 P's.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a preference, sometimes it's prudence, and sometimes it's principle. You definitely want to go with God's principles and promises. Then you will find the prudence, which is the wisdom. And
to navigate your preferences.
To navigate the true preferences.
Yes.
Of how you all move together.
Yeah.
So love that. What was the other one there? Is like, especially when initial thoughts are negative.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
The initial thoughts. If out of all those 60,000, they say about what?
85%.
But negative.
This is another thing. 95% of your thoughts are repetitive.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you're saying things over and over again in your own mind, and you don't even realize you never even communicated it to your spouse.
Yeah.
It's just stuck in here.
And that goes back to that other point that
Which
you were
one?
saying. Trivializing.
Yeah.
If I'm doing all of that, going with all these negative thoughts and a high percentage of them, and I'm not talking to you about them, and they're just repetitively negative, then I got some work to do.
Yeah.
I got some work to do. And am I really valuing myself, my thoughts, my mind, my time, my spouse? Am I really doing that?
It was the timeliness thing.
Yeah.
Because, in the very, very beginning of our marriage, like to him, if you're on time, you're late. You got to be 5 minutes early to be on time. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, we got a little window, 10, 15 minute window. We get there 15 minutes afterwards, we still good. Things ain't really get popping off anyway, right?
Yeah.
And so he would get a little frustrated because he'd be like, you should know me by now. I like to be on time, meaning 5 minutes, 10 minutes early. And I'm like, babe, ain't nobody even there yet. So, he took it as I was trivializing something that was important to him. Because I'm like, I don't know what the big deal is. Like, it ain't even really getting started yet. But coming to the understanding of why it was important to him to be on time, because he's thinking about the traffic, the planning, the parking, just all of those things.
Whatever could go wrong will go wrong.
That was his thought.
That Murphy's Law. The risk analysis I told you, quality assurance, all that stuff, being on time, valuing those type of things. But I had to go on the inside, and the scripture, Ephesians 5:21, it talks about submitting to one another.
Yes.
Right. And I was like, okay, am I seeking what I want, or am I really trying to walk with you?
Yeah. But
You
even
know,
before
and be
you
in
got to
alignment.
that point, it wasn't about coming across with the you should know me by now.
Yeah.
It was
It
like
took a minute
getting to let's just have a conversation about
because
it.
I was trying
So
to
we
fix
can
it.
get to the understanding so that I really can get to know why you value your
Time.
version of being on time,
Time
you
and
know,
space. Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
So again, getting the understanding.
Can I tell an amazing thing that you do though?
Okay.
The stuff that when we was doing, and my wife would say, "Give me 5 minutes," and we're moving along, and what takes me 30 minutes to do, right? Go eat, think, dress, showers, dress, all that stuff. My wife is sat in the bed, and this beautiful mind of hers would say, "Okay, I got to go get the kids ready. I got to do this. They need to eat." And then in about 15, 20 minutes, she's done that. In 5 minutes, boom, and they beat me in the car. And I'm like, how does that happen? You know what I mean? I should know by now. It's one of those moments. I should know by now. Now I'm late on trying to be early, because she did like, okay, take in mind that, oh, he does value his time and stuff like that. Because we had the conversation.
Because we had the conversation.
And it was like, oh man, now I'm behind. And so, oh man, I thought I knew them.
Yes.
But now they're beating me. So let me get to know and doing that.
Yep.
And so if I never share that, if we never talked about that, any of that thing, I can sit here and tell her, right? Every thought from 6 years old to now of what I like and what I need to do and all that stuff. Not that this mind right now remembers all that. But even if I attempted to tell her everything from 6 to 56, at 60, she still wouldn't know me. Why? Because we change every day.
That's right.
So continue to grow, continue to be curious, and continue to allow God to cultivate your marriage.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So that you don't sit in the frustration and the irritation of, they should know me by now. It doesn't have to be that way. Hey, let me give them an opportunity to get to know me now. Right now. This is who I am now. Yes.
And so
and talk about it.
Yeah. And you won't have to worry about being a champion outside. You will be a pro companion inside. So we love y'all. We'll talk to y'all next week.
Make sure you hit the link to register for our masterclass.
Yeah,
and it's a complimentary masterclass.
So cost you nothing.
There you go.
So invest some time.
That's right, Mama Gwen. The key is straight up communication.
Honest communication.
That's it.
All right. That's it for today. We love y'all. Thank y'all again. And we look forward to talking about compromise.
Next week.
Same
time. Same
place.
Correct. Yeah. Mic communication.
Yes.
Mic hookup.
We'll have the right mics hooked up and all that good stuff. Because we know each other now.
Yeah.
We know our technology.
We didn't even get to sing our new song.
What's the new song?
Now that you know me by now.
No. Yeah. Let's not do that. My wife makes a joyful noise because the old song was, if you don't know me by now, you will never know me. And like she said, now that you know me right now. Yes.
Get to know me. Yes.
You will always get to know me. We love y'all. Talk to you later.
Next week.
All right.
All right.